Dark Mad Steve has begun. What's up, people in the chat? Let me get to the chat. Oh, fuck, man. What is it, Tuesday? Tuesday coming at me hard. God damn. What the fuck? Can you post the old intro jam? What's wrong with this one, fat pig? What the hell is wrong with this one? Dark Match Steve Ponzi with a line through it? What does that mean? Is that some lingo I'm not familiar with? Dark Match Steve up in the fucking house. What the fuck is up, people? What's up, everybody in the chat? Oh, fuck. I lost the chat. Airplane Willie, what's up? Fat Pig, Jeff Cron. What's up, guys? Promo code Lummy. What's up, buddy? Love you. Dark Match Steve up in this bitch. Feeling slutty. Might take some clothes off. Probably not. Yeah, how's it going? How's everybody doing? I had a fucking rough day today. I don't even have this fucking interview pulled up yet. The goddamn Elon Musk bullshit. Let me pull this up on the other page. Last night, you know, if I were to do a true review of this interview, what I would do is sit here for an hour in silence and have y'all just watch my fucking dumb face. And let me fucking undo this. God damn you. Get out of there. I have the best intro video and songs that you will see anywhere on YouTube. I don't give a fuck. I don't know what, except Bubba. Bubba's got some, I don't know where they found, I don't know where the fuck Bubba and Lummy or Rhett, whoever found those intro, the royalty-free tracks the Bubba Army's using right now. Those are fucking fire. Makes me want to quit making mine. But no, mine's out of all the homemade shit, I got the best intro and all that. Let me pull up Twitter here. Yeah, if I were to truly cover this, I'd sit here in fucking silence and let y'all fucking just stare at my face. And I stall for time like everybody else had to do last night. Oh, fuck, man. It was so funny because last night what I did was, in case I'm sure a lot of people missed it, but I did an ice bath. I did a cold plunge. Let me pull up this orange motherfucker's page. Donald Trump. Or should I pull up the on Musk's page? Oh. Let's see. Okay. I guess I'll screen share here. Yeah, so last night was a fucking I was going to do my ice bath thing on Sunday, and it's the second time I've tried doing it. The first time I tried to do an ice bath, hey, what's up, promo code? You came back. Or maybe you didn't leave, whatever. Hey, what's up, dude? Up in the chat, my lover. Yeah, bro. Did not miss it. So last night I did my ice bath instead of Sunday. I ran out of time to do my fucking ice bath thing Sunday. I'm only starting to try this shit because I do have a few aches and pains and whatnot. And just like I've heard of, a few benefits here and there. I don't know that much about it, but it seems it's not something that's, that intense or, provably bad for you that I could, that I should be worried about, trying something like an ice bath, cold plunge deal. But yeah, it was cold as fuck. I've tried it before, and it was a fail. Like I bought 2 bags of ice. I don't know what the fuck. I think I was just subconsciously scared and didn't want to do it. God damn it, is my fucking internet service going down? I'm getting the symbol here. Okay, it's coming back. I gotta move it an inch closer to my fucking router. Yeah, I got 2 bags of ice before and tried to do the ice bath thing, and all the fucking ice melted before the tub was even full. It was pathetic. I got in there and it was cold, but it was not a fucking ice bath. Last night was fucking intense. You got, if you haven't seen it, go see my ice bath video. I mean, if you give a fuck, I don't know. But I've been meaning to try this. I've been scared to do it. Oh my God. I did 4 bags of ice, and when I got in, there was still plenty of ice floating in there. And oh my God, it was cold. And then I had 2 frozen water bottles that I threw in there too, just to keep it cold. Fuck, man. It was rough. So yeah, go check it out if you're interested, if you've ever thought about that shit. I mean, if you watch my video, you'll probably not want to take an ice bath anymore, because I was kind of a baby about it. I pulled up a couple minutes of it. I went through in my video to try to see. I was really busy today. I would have watched the whole thing. I'm like that. I'll watch my own content, but I pulled up a couple minutes and I was like, damn, I was being a real bitch. But man, I love being hot. I love being too hot. I turn the AC up to like 78 when I'm home by myself. It could be 80. I don't give a fuck. Like I like to just be slightly warm. And that fucking water, I've never I don't think I've ever been in any kind of I've been up north when a pool is not ideal temperature in Connecticut a couple times where it was cold, but that was like an out of body experience last night. I can't believe I did that on a live thing. I mean, I don't know. I really I don't know. Like I honestly could have like wanted to get out. I mean, it was so cold that it was concerning. It was concerning. So anyway, we'll get to this fucking interview thing. Now I heard what are they I'll screen share on Twitter here. So I saw something. I was reading some article that like is it Trump or Musk or both of them are getting sued for something they said in here about what is it? I had it on my phone a minute ago. I think it was the unions workers or something. Um yeah, the union UAW files federal labor charges against Donald Trump and Elon Musk after threatening workers on X interview. So there's been a little bit of drama that's come out of this. Apparently, this version, the Twitter Spaces version, they're saying it got hacked. Musk has said that. I think even CNN. I didn't look this up, but according Bubba mentioned this morning that CNN even confirmed that they were hacked. And I guess people on Twitter were talking about Trump having a lisp, and that was just an artifact of, or an effect of this, whatever the fuck hack, or maybe it was just terrible fucking quality that Elon Musk doesn't have good quality control for these Twitter spaces. I mean, I've watched or listened to a few of these, and it kind of always seems like it's not ideal quality. I don't know what I mean. I'm not someone that hates on Elon Musk. I'm just being straight up here, but yeah, it always seems like something to me. Oh, before I get into this, just so that no one's fucking disappointed or something, I'm not going to be on here super late. I'll probably be off by 9:30. We're going to go through, I think I can maybe even play this faster. I'm not sure actually, but like maybe 1.25 speed. I don't know if I want to do that, but anyway, yeah. I'm working on this Tim Walz parody. I could possibly have it done tonight. The actual video for this and everything. I got pretty far working on it. So yeah, I want to get that out soon while it's about, it's about Tampon Tim. Okay. I'll give you that much. I don't want to say exactly what the fuck song it is and everything. But yeah, so I'm going to have that done hopefully tonight or tomorrow morning and release the video tomorrow. I've sent the parody to Bubba's crew. I mean, we'll see if they play it tomorrow. I hope they do, because I want to release the video tomorrow, and I love giving Bubba the first play on anything that, has potential. So, all right, let's get to this fucking bullshit. Who in the fucking chat? Tell me if you've already listened to this whole fucking thing. I caught 15 minutes of it. Stein was playing it and reacting to it. I was hanging in his chat for like 15, 20 minutes. That's all I've heard from this. I didn't know about half the shit I'm reading on Twitter about this. What's happening?
All right, hello everyone. My apologies for the late start. We unfortunately had a massive distributed denial of service attack against our servers, and saturated all of our data lines. Like basically hundreds of gigabits of data were saturated. We think we've overcome most of that, and so it's now time to proceed. But as this massive attack illustrates, there's a lot of opposition to people just hearing what President Trump has to say, and but I'm honored to have this conversation. I want to emphasize it's a conversation, and it's really intended to just get a feel for what Donald Trump is just like in a conversation. So it's hard to catch a vibe about someone if you just don't hear them talk in a normal way. And when there's an adversarial interview, like no one's themselves in an adversarial interview. So
All right, let's be straight up here. This is probably okay. I'm gonna go with this video here. I think this is the different version where Trump's lisp isn't there, because I think this is Trump's version.
saturated all of our
Let me make sure this is paused, right? Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna watch this so I can have a little more control here. I can skip through.
Basically hundreds of gigabits of data were saturated. We think we've overcome most of that, and so it's now time to proceed. But as this massive attack illustrates, there's a lot of opposition to people just hearing what President Trump.
Massive Attack. They have some good songs. You guys know that band, Massive Attack? They're pretty good. He probably listens to that. It was a subtle shout out to that band, I think.
Has to say, and but I'm honored to have this conversation. I want to emphasize it's a conversation, and it's really intended to just get a feel for what Donald Trump is just like in a conversation. So it's hard to catch a vibe about someone if you just don't hear them talk in a normal way. And when there's an adversarial interview, like no one's themselves in an adversarial interview. And this is really aimed at kind of open-minded.
Let's be real, and I would, to be fair here, this is it's true what Musk is saying here. I mean, you're not yourself when you're being adversarial or whatever, unless you're naturally just an adversarial person where you always are the one that gets the heat going in a conversation. But this is definitely supposed to be. I mean, I don't expect Musk to ask Trump's, some really hard-hitting questions that are fair questions, but that would compromise Trump and his image or reputation. This, I mean, I expect it to be sort of, an endorsement, a fluff piece. I think I heard that Musk did endorse Trump in this video or in this interview, but we'll keep it going.
Independent voters who just trying to make up their mind, so you can understand like what is what is it just like to have a conversation. So honored to Donald, great to speak. We had a great conversation yesterday. As you mentioned yesterday, if we could just record that conversation and post it, it would have been excellent. I hope we can have something like that today.
Well, I think we will. I'm pretty sure we will. And congratulations, because I see you broke every record in the book with so many millions of people. And it's an honor. We view that as an honor. And then you do want silencing of certain voices. Usually those are voices that have something to say that are constructive, oftentimes constructive. And so we have to consider it an honor. But congratulations on breaking every record.
Is anyone, can we all hear this properly? Is it like, I have it at 1.25. Elon Musk is stuttering like he sounds like he has major autism, which he probably does, but he's stuttering worse than Joe Biden here, and it kind of sometimes is inaudible. I'm hoping it's not too bad at a little bit sped up.
In the book tonight. That's great.
Well, thank you. Maybe we could start off with I mean, the assassination attempt, which was an incredible thing. And I have to say that, your actions after that assassination attempt were inspiring. You, instead of shying away from things, instead of ducking down, you were pumping your fist in there and saying, fight, fight, fight. And I think that's, I mean, the president of the United States represents America. And I think that is America. That is strength under fire. And,
you guys, I hate to say it. Oh my God. Like I can't, I don't have time to like break all this down, but maybe this week, hopefully before next week or by next week, I'll do a whole fucking thing of my position on the assassination attempt. And I feel like I'm not ready myself to even go down that fucking rabbit hole, but guys, I just don't know about it. You guys have to know, anyone that knows me slightly, you know what side I've been on. You know how I've represented myself in voting. I voted for Trump. I want to believe that assassination attempt was 100% legit and that it was just God's hand that saved him. I want to believe that, and I did at first. And I presented as believing that. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I will get into that. I'll get into that some other time. But yeah, the fucking assassination attempt, the fucking damage on his ear, supposedly, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I'm sorry. I don't want anyone to be mad at me about that. And it's not like that means I won't vote for him. Even if he pulled some kind of fucked up, psyop mission and had one of his own voters killed in the crowd just to make his ear injury look legitimate, I may still vote for him regardless of that. I mean, I'm going off too much. Let's keep this playing.
So that's a big part of the reason why I was excited to endorse you as the president of the United States for having a film here is that was just incredibly inspiring. But I mean, what was it like for you?
Not pleasant. I have to be honest. I said there was blood. I had more blood. I didn't know I had that much blood. The doctors later told me that the ear is a place that is a very bloody place.
The doctors told me that the ear, it has blood.
If you're going to get hit. But in this case, it was probably the best alternative you could even.
For some reason, it bled a whole lot right when he got hit and he went to the ground. You didn't see any blood right when he was hit. And then he goes to the ground and there's blood, and then he gets back up and the blood's no longer dripping. It was a miracle.
Think about, because it went at the right angle, and it was a hard hit. It was very, I guess you would say surreal, but it wasn't surreal. I was telling somebody, you have instances like this or.
Nug one, thank you. I appreciate it, bro. I really do. You're more than welcome here. I'd love to, if you really want to, mend things with, the Bub Army channel or whatever the fuck. I mean, if you really want to, I'd be more than willing to shoot someone a message if I need to or whatever, Buzzard Bob, thanks again for coming and chilling. I don't know which Buzzard Bob you are, but I love you. Thanks for hanging with us, bro.
Like a lot less than this, where you feel it's a surreal situation. And I never felt that way. I knew immediately that it was a bullet. I knew immediately that it was at the ear, and because it hit very hard, but it hit the ear. And I also heard people shout, "Bullets, bullets!" Get down, because I moved down pretty nicely, pretty quickly, and we had bullets flying right over my head after I went down. So I'm glad I went down. The bigger miracle was that I was looking in the exact direction of the shooter, and so it hit me at an angle that was far less destructive than any other angle. So that was the miracle. That was for those people that don't believe in God. I think we got to all start thinking about that. You have to, I'm a believer now. I'm more of a believer, I think, and a lot of people have said that to me. A lot of great people have said that to me, actually. But it was
and if it's divine intervention, how could you, as a Christian, how could you not vote for Trump, right? Exactly, right? So he got shot.
It was amazing that I happened to be turned just at that perfect angle. And all because I put down a chart on immigration that showed that the numbers were so great. I love that chart even more now.
Maybe
that
it's a sign.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a sign. Yeah.
It's an immigration sign.
You highlighted a serious issue.
Yeah.
And at that moment,
that's right.
The bullet missed your, hit your ear, but missed your head.
Well, the amazing thing is that the sign, I said, bring down that sign on immigration. And it was literally about an eighth of a second where it would be good. And after that, it was going to be a disaster, no matter which way you were facing. But it just had that perfect angle, which was exactly at this shooter. Very sad situation. Such a sad situation. As you know, we lost somebody that was great, Corey, who a firefighter, a great gentleman, a great trumper. He was just a fantastic family and a fantastic.
The sacrifice, the firefighter, the sacrifice that was required.
Fantastic man. And a friend of mine came up, Elon, and said, I'd like to give the family some kind of help. And I said, that's great. He said, do you mind? I said, I don't mind at all. And he wrote out a check for $1 million, gave it to the wife. And, she said, this is really nice, but I'd rather have my husband back, which is a nice thing for somebody to say, to be honest. Sure. She's great. The family is great. And we raised a lot of money for them and for two other gentlemen are unbelievable people also. They were hit really badly. They thought they were not going to make it, and they did. The doctors in the Butler area, I tell you, they were incredible. They saved the two, and they were really hit tough, both of them, equally. And we thought, my first question was, because I heard bullets flying over me. I said, how many people were killed? Because we had a massive crowd there, a tremendous thousands and thousands of people. And there was no land. I mean, it was all people. So I said, how many people have been killed? Because I knew there were other shots being fired. Sure. And they said, we don't know yet, but some people have been badly hurt. And I have to give the Secret Service sniper, they call them, or sharpshooter, but sniper, because
there was 5 people hit. There were 10 shooters. There were 2 shooters on the watchtower. And then you had like 7 agents shooting. Everybody was getting shot or shooting.
He didn't know there was a problem. He's an extraordinary shot, obviously, and he didn't know there was a problem. And he was able to pick it all out within 5 seconds. And he used one bullet from very far away, I guess probably about 400 yards. The shooter was 130, but he was on the opposite side of the field and the podium. And he saw the smoke and the flame from the gun, immediately recognized it, and immediately took a shot. And it was one perfect shot from very far away. And if he didn't do that, Elon, he would have.
I don't even think that's right. I don't want to go replaying stuff and looking at videos, but I don't even think that's right. What he just said.
I mean, if he would have, a lot more people could have been badly hurt and killed. Yeah. So I have to take my hat off to him, because that's also a surreal. He's been with them for 23 years, and he's never had anything like this.
Trump is the only one defending the fucking Secret Service. What the fuck? He's the one that got shot, the victim of their failures. If I'm being charitable and believing whatever just believing what the news is saying happened there, that he was shot at and all that, they were completely negligent and almost had him killed. And he's the only person in the entire country defending the Secret Service. He's defending the rifle, the sniper on the rooftop, who was aiming at the shooter and could have said, hey, Trump, you might want to shut up and get off the stage because there's a guy aiming a rifle at you.
And all of a sudden he has to act. And it's a very tough thing to act and to be shooting somebody. But he saw the gun, saw the smoke, saw the flame from the gun very far away. Obviously has very good eyes. He's got very good vision, which I assume you have to have in that particular work. But he took aim very quickly, and they say it was approximately 5 seconds from long range, one bullet. If that didn't happen, because the shooter had a lot of bullets, he had a lot of cartridges up there with him. So
that's clearly he was very confident in taking that shot to stop the attempted assassination. But I mean, there does seem to be some pretty significant failings elsewhere in the system. Like, there's just no way that, like, how on earth does a shooter get on a roof 130 yards away? That seems crazy. I think most people are wondering how that on earth could such a thing happen.
Well, I view it as two ways. There should have been nobody on the roof. There were people, because there were so many tens of thousands of people there. There were people that were seeing him, and there was one.
There were literally agents in the building behind the roof he got on with a perfect view of the roof. I reshared the video. There's agents in that room, and you could see every bit of the roof on the side that the shooter was on. Yeah, none of it makes sense, but I don't think we're going to get any clarification in this interview, unfortunately.
Woman with a red shirt and Trump all over it, and she's screaming, "That guy's got a gun!" You know, you saw it probably.
No,
There's a guy up there with a gun.
It's like I guess, I mean, for my part, I think probably many members of the public are wondering how the heck are, you know, basically people wondering by pointing out there's a guy on the roof with a gun.
Yeah,
and they're seeing it, but somehow it's not being addressed. That does seem crazy.
Yeah, well, they're going to learn from this. The communication between the local police, who sort of had an idea, and then ultimately a man lifted himself up to the roof, could barely do it because, you know, he was pulling himself up, and he saw the man with the gun. The man with the gun pointed the gun at him. He thought he was probably going to get shot, but, you know, he was like pulling himself up. And
remember when did the last week or whenever that footage came out, I reviewed it that day. And what day was it? I don't fucking remember, but it's on the thumbnail, and there's redacted audio from that tape. Why the fuck the badge? It's the badge cam from the officer that Trump's talking about right here that was hoisted up so he could peek over the roof. He got onto this smaller rooftop and started pulling himself up, and then supposedly saw the shooter turn towards him and take aim. But why is that? Why is the audio redacted? Again, I talked about this. I mean, there's all kinds of more information we could have gotten from what they know, what he's saying on his radio, and what's being said around him and stuff, and where the shots are actually coming from, because the majority of the audio that we have of the shots are from near the stage. Okay, so that's gonna make it sound a certain way, a certain distance for all the bullets. You know, if there's more than one shooter, and the audio is coming from in the center, and the shooters are the same distance away but in different locations, then it would sound like one shooter at the same distance. You know, so having audio from behind that building would give us more information about the gunfire.
because of that, he couldn't get to his gun,
And it was redacted. The audio is redacted. Go check it.
and he fell down. Actually, very badly hurt his leg, his ankle. I hear very badly, but he fell down, and he did. You know, from what I understand, he did say there's a guy up there with a gun, and
Yeah, Airplane Willie, send it to me. DM me or something. I'll check it out for sure.
the shooting started very quickly after that. I think it forced the shooter to go maybe quicker. You know, you're supposed to be a very good shot. My sons, Don and Eric, they can't believe what happened, but they said from 130 yards, a bad shot would hit that target almost every time. They said it's like in golf, sinking a 2-foot putt.
Yeah, it's not a tough shot.
No, it's not a long shot. The Secret Service person had the long shot. He had triple the distance actually. So it was a terrible thing.
What?
It's hard. I have to say this about the Secret Service.
What? How did what? Who had triple the distance? He was the Secret Service sniper was next to you on a building. Well, how did he have triple the distance? What the fuck? And then not to mention the 10 agents watching the shooter climb onto the roof in that window I told you about. They were a lot closer too.
When I went down, and I went down based on, I think they're screaming, but other people also, because people saw this happen. You know, you had so many people. One of the miracles was that nobody ran. I mean, if a gun goes off, the crowd control people showed us this. When guns go off, and it does happen in stadiums at a soccer match or some kind of a match, everybody flees. They call it a stampede, like cattle. But everybody, and a lot of people get killed with those stampedes. We had more people than you'd have at, some of these matches or these games, and nobody left. You had a small group behind us in the grandstand, and that was full. And you look at it as it was taking place, and normally they'd be running. They didn't leave. They saw that I was hurt. They saw a lot of blood, and they saw that I went down. And it's almost like they wanted to be with me. Well, out front, you had thousands, tens of thousands.
It's almost like they wanted to die with me because they love me so much.
Thousands of people. As far as the eye could see, you had people in Butler. As far as the eye could see, and a lot of press too. It was many cameras on watching this. It's what makes it so different because normally things happen that aren't good, but you never have a picture of it. Here we have all these cameras shooting it.
Yeah.
So sort of amazing. But one of the interesting things was that you didn't have anybody flee. You didn't have anybody stampede. Nobody. And there were some people behind me. They stood up and they're looking like I mean, I tell you, you want to have them in a foxhole with you. I want to meet some of those people because it's so different from what you heard. But so I was down. But the Secret Service guys, there were bullets flying right over my head. You could hear them go whizzing, and these guys came jumping on top of.
More defense of the Secret Service from the only man in the country defending the Secret Service. The guys that almost had him killed, that were clearing people from behind the stage because they could definitely sense something was going to happen, but didn't move Trump. Those are the people he's defending right now.
Me and a young lady.
After the shoot.
Coordination. There was, obviously everybody understands that somebody that building should have been covered. And that was a big thing.
I mean, looking at the aerial views, that building would be like the number one spot for a sniper. I mean, it's like if you were to pick what is the favorite? So if the goal is.
Am I froze up right now? God damn it, lag. Fucking bullshit. God fucking damn it.
To assassinate, what's your favorite spot? That building, the roof of that building.
You're right. That would have been the spot.
You can ask for a better location.
No, that would have been the spot. You know what people think is when the local policeman, who, by the way, he really he did what he was supposed to do. He couldn't hold on any longer. Yeah. And then when he got his head just peeking above, this guy standing there with a gun at his head. And when he fell down, again, hurt his ankle very badly, but he was making the calls. But what happened is the firing took place very soon. So what they think is that this guy ran to his site, which he had all planned out with the gun. He ran to the.
All of that shit, all the audio during this party he's talking about is redacted. That is so fucked up. I mean, I don't think there's another version that I haven't seen. I think I saw like one of the first versions posted, and I don't know why that would have the audio redacted and other ones would have include it. So I haven't searched far and wide, but what the fuck? It was gone from the version I saw.
Site, and he started shooting fast, and maybe that's why he sort of missed. I mean, he got me, but it could have been.
All right, I'm gonna skip forward to get past the assassination shit. We'll talk about this another day. It's like
I was hit in the ear. I want to get up. Let me get up, and so we.
1658.
I say an act of God. It's a miracle that it happened, and I'm honored.
He's still talking about getting shot. I'm honored. Hold on. I'm honored to have been saved by God. Is that what he's saying right now?
By it. I'm honored by it.
What were you about to say about illegal immigration before you were originally?
What the fuck?
Interrupted with the bullets.
Well, I was going to say how good the numbers were. By the way, we're going back to Butler. And we're going to go back in October. We're all set up, and the people are fantastic in Butler. It's a great area. Great. These are incredible people. Like the three that, in the case of Corey killed, and the other two, the families I got to know them a little bit, and the families are great. But we're going back to Butler, and I think I'll probably start by saying, as I was saying, prior to being so horribly interrupted, but
so rudely interrupted by an assassination.
Yeah, so it was, but the chart, Elon, the chart was just a chart that in my last week we had the best illegal immigration numbers, meaning stopping. It was at the lowest. You've seen the chart; it's become quite a famous chart. But that was the lowest point ever recorded. It was a really. I mean, I was very proud of those numbers. And then you see what happened with these people, Kamala and Joe. You see what happened. They just let it go. I had remain in Mexico policies. I had all these different policies that were so good. Guys like Tom Homan and Brandon Judd from Border Patrol. These are all people that they've been on television.
We're so fucked. All those fucking people flooded in here. We are so fucked. I don't know if Trump could fix it. if he even wants to.
They said it's the best numbers we've ever had. We had so many different checks, catch and release in Mexico, not the United. We had catch and release in the United States. We had it in Mexico. We had so many things. We had things where if many people come in there, they have contagious diseases. We had everything passed. If you have a contagious disease, I'm sorry, but we cannot allow you into the country. So we would.
Who do I have? It's not. I don't have Frontier. What's the Spectrum? Yeah, that's who I have. Spectrum. They're fucking scumbags, dude. My house is tiny. I'm like 20 feet from the fucking router and can't stream for $30 a month. I can't stream 20 feet from the router. Give me a fucking break. What do you think about Joe the Supermarket's call to Seth? What are you talking about? I must have missed that. I didn't get up till like 7-ish, and I listened to the whole show since like from the moment I got up, but maybe there was something at the beginning I missed. Did he call the podcast or something? What do you mean call to Seth? Or maybe oh God, did Seth get his number to Holyoke? If he hated him. All right, let's get back to this thing and try to get through it. Supermark asked Seth if he hated him. Yeah. Oh boy.
We're setting literally records, and all I was doing is showing that, and I use it sometimes, and in this case, I'm glad I used it. I can tell you that, but they were fantastic numbers. But I'm going to sleep with that chart always. I'll be sleeping with that chart. That chart was very important for a lot of reasons.
I mean, would it be accurate to say that you're supportive of legal immigration, but we also need to shut down illegal immigration, and especially unvetted illegal immigration,
yes.
Because and that's not the same as saying that everyone who's an illegal immigrant is bad. In fact, I think most people who are illegal immigrants are actually good, but you can't tell a difference unless there's a solid vetting of who comes across the border. Is that accurate?
100%.
Okay.
I say it very simply. They have to come in legally. They have to be checked. Because look, Kamala was the border czar. Now she's denying it. Everything that I do, she's saying she was strong on the border. We're going to be strong. Well, she doesn't have to say it. She could close it up right now. They could do things right now. It's horrible. No tax on tips, and all of a sudden,
Kamala still hasn't been to the border, has she? They asked her if she went to the border. What, like a year or 2 years ago, and she's like, I haven't been to Brazil. I haven't been to London. Like what? The border? What? She still hasn't been there, has she? She has no idea. I bet she can't even fucking find the border. I bet she thinks when they say, have you been to the border? She thinks Canada. That's what comes to her head. She's like, Canada? She's a dumb bitch, okay? You guys get it?
she's making the speeches, and there will be no tax on tips. I said that months ago. And by the way, they had just the opposite. You know, they had not only.
That is pathetic that Kamala is stealing policy ideas from Donald Trump. Next, she'll be saying fucking she hates Muslims or something. No, that's fucked up. And why doesn't she just do it now? Right? I've seen the memes. These are what people are saying in the memes. Why doesn't she do it now? She's vice president. She could say, look, Joe, we need your old debilitated, crippled hand to sign a bill real quick. Executive order, no tax on tips. She won't do it.
Only tax on tips, but they hired 88,000 IRS agents, and many of them were assigned to go get waitresses and caddies and all of this on tips. They have a policy. They had a policy that they were really going to go after you, and were really harassing people horribly. And then all of a sudden, for politics, she says, you know, she comes out with what I said, which I think is terrible. And I think it's also hitting them very hard. These people are fake. Now they're also saying they did a good job on the border. We had the worst numbers in the history of the world, not of our country. There's never been a country in history that has had a catastrophe like this. We've had, I believe, and I think you believe this too, you know, you hear 12 million, 13, I believe it's over 20 million people came into our country, many coming from jails, from prisons, from mental institutions, or
it was Europe, right? That's what she said. I haven't been to Europe.
Bigger version of that is insane asylums. and many are terrorists. And I'll tell you what, they're coming not just from South America, they're coming from Africa, they're coming from all over the world. They're coming from Asia, they're coming from the Middle East, they're coming from countries that are stupidly and horribly.
Yeah, Nug One. I don't want to. I'll go too long if I fucking pull up this goddamn voter ID map, bro. Look at Google voter ID map. It's a color coded map, and shows whatever. We went over all this shit. It's like there's no way, there's no way for a Democrat to guarantee, or anybody. It doesn't have to be a Democrat. I'm sure Republicans, if they could take advantage, maybe would. I don't know, whatever, but. No one can guarantee you that the illegal immigrants are not voting when we don't have strict voter ID laws across the country. It's like, there's a couple states, a handful of states that have strict voter ID, and the rest are all wishy-washy. It's completely, it's a fucking joke.
Bombing Israel, October 7th. They're coming from all over the world. And you look at, it's so sad, October 7th, because it should have never happened. It's so sad when you look at Ukraine. It should have never happened. We have a defective government. These are defective people, and they're not people that should be running it. But where you see it the best is the border, because you have millions of people coming in a month, and then she gets up and she tries to pretend like she's going to do something. She had 3.5 years. And by the way, they have another 5 months that they can do something, but they won't do anything. It's all talk. She's incompetent and he's incompetent. And frankly, I think that she's more incompetent than he is. And that's saying something, because he's not too good.
Yeah, no, I think it is essential to have a secure border. I mean, you're really not a country unless you have a secure border.
Had to pull it up. I got it on screen share right here. Voter ID map. I'll blow it up for you. Take a look at this shit. Yeah, Nug. I've always been asked. Damn, man, I forget what the name of the episode is. Something about regaining faith in democracy or something. There's one of my past live streams where I went over this map and I told a story. One of the times that I went to vote, and I live in Florida. I've been asked for ID every time, and I have my ID, so I provide it every time. But one time when I went to vote, there was this fucking weird person in line. I won't do the whole story because I'm trying to get through this goddamn interview. But there was this person in line who was talking shit to everybody, trying to like tell people how to vote. It was the most like, I was just so innocent, not expecting anything. I was just going. It was for, I don't know if it was the Trump election or it was a midterm, but it was 2016 or a midterm after that or something. Anyway, I'm in line. This fucking person is, talking to everybody in line, telling them how to vote, being aggressive about it and stuff. They went inside and I was not far behind them. So I watched them when they went up to get their ballot. And when the fucking person asked them for ID, this person flipped out. And again, I'm saying this person because I couldn't tell what gender they were. This was way back in the day before you expect to see trans people and stuff, and you're looking for it. And when this person flipped out that they asked her for ID, they reassured her that she could vote without showing ID, but she protested and walked out. So this, like I said before, I explained it. I'm pretty sure she was in line just trying to tell other people how to vote and get people to vote differently, and she had already voted. I don't know what the scheme was, but the whole thing was fucking sketchy. It was the craziest shit I've ever seen at a poll site. Where are we here? Sorry. The hell?
You'll be arrested.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's insane.
It's right. I mean, what's happening with crime, and our police are so good, but they're not allowed to do their job. But I have to tell you, Elon, I hate to say, because it's such a downer to say it. I hate to say it. I hate it. But you have a lot of people that just shouldn't be. I think it's a much bigger number than you think. They're
I think
allowing,
right, yeah.
again, they're allowing people from their jails. And if you were running one of these countries where they're coming from, you would have had all of them. As an example, Venezuela, their crime is down 72%. They're taking their drug dealers. They're taking, frankly, their prisoners. They're emptying out their prisons. They're taking their criminals, their murderers, their rapists, and they're delivering them into the.
Castro did that.
Yeah, well, he did on a much smaller scale. You know, it was a
Yeah.
much smaller scale. But this is a massive scale because this is being done worldwide. But here's what's happening: crime all over the world is down. And wait till you see the numbers that we have. You know, this is migrant crime. This is crime that's going to be. And I saw it today in New York where somebody was knifed, where they raped the girlfriend of a man that stood there watching in New York in one of the shelters, and started pulling out the knives, and bad things happened today. But this is happening every day. These are rough people. These are people that are in jail for murder and all sorts of things, and they're releasing them into our country, and they're telling them, if you come back, we're going to kill you. We're going to give you the death penalty or kill you.
He said this one illegal immigrant, this one illegal immigrant was in a department store with this batshit crazy woman and went into the dressing room with her and tried to pull her panties off. Oh, wait, that was Trump. I'm just kidding. I don't believe that story. It's just a joke.
So they don't want to come back. But these are rough people. These are criminals that make our criminals look like nice people. And it's horrible what they're doing. And she's in charge of it because, you know, now she's trying to say she had nothing to do with it. And she's such a liar because she was called the border czar the first day, and it was on the headlines of every newspaper. She's the border czar, and she never even went there. She went to one location, which had nothing to do with where the problem is. You know, she went in and out, I guess, because she was getting a lot of pressure, but had nothing to do with the problem is. But she was the border czar, and people can't allow them to get away with their disinformation campaign. Now she's trying to say that she wasn't really involved, and the whole thing is horrible. She was totally in charge. She could have shut the border down without him. He didn't know what he was doing anyway, so he wouldn't have even known what happened. You could shut the border down. He wouldn't even know the difference. But the fact is that she was border czar. But if you don't have to call her that, the fact is you could just call her, she was in charge of the border, and the border was the worst ever.
It's simply not working.
No, it's horrible.
Whether it's a question of intention or competence, either way, we don't have a secure border, and we have people streaming over like it looks like a World War Z zombie apocalypse at times. And you know, sometimes you got to sort of wonder, like, is it real or not? So because you see things, you're like, is it real? So I went to the border at Eagle Pass, and I saw for myself in Texas, and I was like, okay, it's real. I'm like seeing this in real time. I actually posted the video like just live. I just flew there one day and just to see, hey, is this made up or real? And I'm just seeing people stream across the border, and I have to say, you know, at least the people that I saw did not look friendly. You know, so
these are people.
Look at my video and say, hey, you know, these people look friendly.
Elon Musk went to the border armed with a blowtorch. He was aiming it at little kids trying to get through the wall.
Yeah, they don't look super friendly. So
these are people that Elon would not be the same man if he had to walk across the street and look these people in the eye. These are rough people. These are really rough people coming across. And I know rough people. And these are people that we don't want in our country. And, you know, the caravans are coming in, and they're putting, and who's doing this are the heads of the countries. And you would be doing it, and so would I. And everyone would say, oh, what a terrible thing to say. The fact is, it's brilliant for them because they're taking all of their bad people, really bad people. And I hate to say this, the reason the numbers are much bigger than you would think is they're also taking their non-productive people. Now, these aren't people that will kill you. We have enough of them. But these are people that are non-productive. They are just non-productive. I mean, for whatever reason, they're not workers, or they don't want to work, or whatever. And these countries are getting rid of non-productive people in the caravans in many cases. And they're also getting rid of their murderers and their drug dealers and the people that are really brutal people. And they're coming into our country at levels that have never been seen before. And I saw an ad just before I got on the air. I'm walking over here, and I saw an ad by Kamala saying how she is going to provide border security. Where's she been for 3.5 years? For 3.5 years, we have 20 million people poured in. It's a terrible thing.
Frankly,
So I need to look up that what was it, a bill or whatever that they were going to pass? Remember the border deal that it was supposed to be a bipartisan bill or whatever that they were going to try to have fix the border situation, but wasn't that like packed with, it had bullshit in it, like for Ukraine, funding for Ukraine or something? But the Democrats, if you hear any of the Democrats, personalities, talking heads, a lot of them say that Trump had that bill shot down because he wanted to save the border issue for him to campaign on. But I believe there was Ukraine funding in that bill. Bipartisan infrastructure law. At your airport? Oh, Airplane Willie. Okay, that makes sense. So what, you have your own airport? You work at an airport? That's cool. Yeah, let's get back to this. Sorry.
I think this is a fundamental existential issue for the United States. And if we have another 4 more years of open borders,
I'm gonna see if let me see. I'm gonna try to look something up real quick, but I'll keep playing this.
And it's going to be even worse with another 4 more years. It's going to be even worse than it's been for the past 3.5 years. I'm not sure we've got a country left.
You don't have a country left. Elon, if they get in, you will have 50 to 60 million people from all over the world, not South America only. We think of South America, we think of Honduras and El Salvador, Guatemala, and Mexico, the 4. But it's not that. It's everywhere. They're coming in from everywhere. And I had to stay in Mexico.
This is a super important point. People, it's like, basically, when I went down there, I was like, well, where are people from? It's like almost no one was from Mexico, to be clear.
No, Mexico less of the others.
It's just the border with Mexico, but the people coming in.
Okay, so just for the record, yeah, I guess this is I might screen share for a second.
It's Earth, the rest of Earth.
That Ukraine funding in there is plausible deniability at bare minimum for me. The fucking Democrats, every time I've heard Destiny talk about this bill, he says, oh, Trump influenced the GOP to shoot down this bill so that he could campaign on fixing the border. So he wanted to keep the border crisis an issue because it would boost his popularity when he goes to campaign. But here we go. He always leaves out the Ukraine aid. And I know Trump is not a proponent of funding whatever the fuck is going on in Ukraine. Mitch McConnell has a fucking stroke every 7 hours, and they're like, yeah, it's a good thing that his influence is waning. He's half dead. He's comatose. The guy's done. He's cooked. Am I completely stupid, or am I reading this right? Just 4 Republicans voted for it. In the end, even McConnell backtracked and voted against the package that he had helped. Well, that's brave. I think after this, see, this is it was a risk of ending aid to Ukraine. And I think after this, they did end up approving more financial aid to Ukraine anyway. So, moving on. No, you know what? And that's I want to believe. It just makes so much sense. I want to believe that the Democrats saw how bad that Biden did during that debate, and they actually thought that maybe he had a chance of like getting through a debate without looking like a hospice patient. They thought he had a chance of that, but he went up there and completely looked like the Grim Reaper or something. He looked like what's the Crypt Keeper, what, right? The fucking from that show. Anyway, and it was such an embarrassing performance that they thought to themselves, you know what? The only chance we have is blowing Trump's brains out. I want to believe that. I really do, because and it makes so much sense, because that is the only chance they had for Biden to get reelected, the walking corpse. Tales from the Crypt, yeah. So it was the Crypt Keeper, right? That was the right? That's what they called him. His, maybe not his name, but anyway.
And do they fear the American president, or is there someone they do not respect and do not fear? And I think they would rightfully be. I mean, but, look at that the footage of the assassination. Like, okay, President Trump is like, don't mess with me. I mean, that's like, whereas I think people are not going to be. They obviously have not been at all intimidated by Biden, and they certainly will not be intimidated by Kamala. And you have to really think of that in the context of global security. That's that if the American
It is, both sides could completely be puppets. I'm trying to be more than fair. I need to stop saying how fair I'm being, because I always am very fair. I'll tell you when I'm not being fair. How about that? Um, it could be that both sides are of the same coin here, Republican and Democrat. Maybe the coin is being flipped by the same thumb, or they could, both sides be completely corrupt and bought out, and even bought out by the same person. But at least with Trump, you have the hint of an illusion that he's actually running things, right? But when it's old news to point this out about Biden. Obviously, everybody can look at him and see he's just a poor old man stuck there like a puppet on strings, and they use him to do their bidding, whoever the fucking deep state is. His cognitive decline is evidence of the deep state. Kamala, you can see the stupid look on her face and how she laughs her way out of being the dumbest person in the room, in any room, during any conversation, and not being able to put together a single sentence that actually makes sense, that means something. Okay. you look at that, and obviously she can't run the country either. So it's just, I have my moments here and there. I don't, I'm on the fence about Trump. I've voted for him twice, but it's like, I can't, it's crazy. It really is crazy to me that someone could look at Kamala and her VP choice, the tampon guy, and go, you know what? That's who will lead the country. That person right there that can't even talk. They will be the leader of the most important country on the planet.
And president is someone that, like, evil dictators are scared of. That makes a huge difference.
That is unhinged that somebody would actually think voting for Kamala is a good idea. The fucking cackling puppet. That is ridiculous. I'm not even trying to talk shit. I'm just, for real, I don't want to insult anybody if you are thinking about voting for Kamala, because maybe you think some of the policies, maybe it's just really, they think regardless of the fact that she's a puppet, the policies that she's speaking of, they like, and they think whatever the machinery of the deep state with this Kamala face as the puppet, they think that the policies that they want passed and the things they want done, they'll get done regardless. Man, I mean, that's one way to make sense of it, to justify voting for that. But it's like voting for a lie that you can get some benefit from or something.
To the security of the world.
An obvious lie. Again, it could be lies on both sides. I'm just,
So I had a good relationship with Putin, despite the Russia hoax that lasted for over 2 years. Just a hoax created by Hillary Clinton and Adam Shifty Schiff, some just bad people, just sick people, frankly. I mean, Schiff is a sick person. He's going to end up probably being a senator. It's hard to believe. The whole thing is hard to believe. But, they put our country in danger with that stuff, too. They actually, when they make up stories, and you have to fight your way out of it for a long time. But I know Putin very well. I got along with him very well. He respected me, and it's just one of those things. And we would talk a lot about Ukraine. It was the apple of his eye, but I said, don't ever do it. Don't ever do it. I shut down Nord Stream 2. That was the big oil pipeline, the biggest pipeline in the world, going all over Europe. I shut it down. Biden came, and then they say, I loved Russia. I was a friend of Putin, and I loved Russia. No, he actually said to me one time, he said, if you're my friend, I'd hate to see you as an enemy. I shut down his pipeline, the biggest pipeline. They were looking at that to fund, and this pathetic president gets in there, and the first thing he did, one of the early things he did, is he shut down Keystone XL pipeline, which is our pipeline that would have employed 48,000 people. Pipeline.
No, I haven't. I haven't wrote to my congressman, Nug One. I shouldn't I? I'll just send him this clip. How about that? That's what I'll do.
Workers shuts it down. That was, a massive job that Obama refused to allow. I allowed it in my first week, because it was jobs and it moved oil. And by the way, in a much more environmentally friendly way. It's underground. It's not a truck that catches on fire or a train that catches on fire. But think of it. He shut down the XL pipeline, the Keystone XL pipeline. Yeah. He shuts that down, and he approves the Russian pipeline.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Right?
It's inconsistent. Certainly. But I mean, I think it's just worth emphasizing.
There's a guy, I forget if he owns an oil company or he does shipping oil or something, but there was this guy that was on Livewire. I think it was the name of that show with the guy with gray goatee and hair, and he had Neil deGrasse Tyson on. I think that's the name. Anyway, and that guy said as soon as Biden shut the pipeline, he just charged like 3 times as much or some shit.
To listeners,
he loved it.
The immense importance of whether the United States president is intimidating or not intimidating, and how much that matters to global security. Because there's some real tough characters out there, and if they don't think the American president is tough, they will do what they want to do.
I know every one of them.
It puts the whole world in
danger. Elon, I know every one of them, and I know them well. Yeah. I know Putin, I know President Xi, I know Kim Jong-un of North Korea. I know every one of them. And let me tell you, people say, oh, this is terrible. He said, I'm not saying anything good or bad. They're at the top of their game. They're tough. They're smart. They're vicious. and they're going to protect their country, whether they love their country. They probably do. It's just a different form of love, but they're going to protect their country. Yeah. But these are tough people at the top of their game. And when they see a Kamala or when they see Biden, Sleepy Joe, they can't even believe it. They can't believe this happened. All the stuff that you're seeing now, all the horror that you look at Israel, they're all waiting for an attack from Iran. Iran would not be attacking, believe me. You know, when I was there, and I say it with respect, because I think we would have been good with Iran. I don't want to do anything bad to Iran, but they knew not to mess around. Iran was broke because I told China, if you buy from Iran oil, it's all about the oil. That's where the money is. But if you buy oil from Iran, you're not going to do any business with the United States. And I meant it. And they said, we'll pass. They didn't buy oil.
Return your Trump flag. I ain't saying to do that. Yeah, I got it. I put it. I've been listening on 1.25 speed, and I put it up to 1.5 speed, a little bit faster. It's getting late, and I gotta be off of here in like 15 minutes, so I can finish working on this parody video. I got a new parody coming out soon. It's already sent to the BRN, so we'll see if they play it tomorrow or the next day or whatever. But I gotta have this. I want to release the video tomorrow, so hopefully Bubba plays it tomorrow. Yeah, sounds like Trump's on blow.
Other countries, likewise. You want to buy, you're not doing business with the United States. And
Trump got into Hunter's stash.
They were at a point where they had no money for Hamas, they had no money for Hezbollah, they had no money for any of these instruments of terror, and it was amazing. In fact, there were articles when I was leaving, which is hard to believe, actually, especially when you look at what's happened to our country. Our country is so bad right now. It's such a different place. We were respected. Think of it. 4 years ago, we were so respected to a point where when I said don't buy oil, they didn't buy oil, but they had no money, and Israel would have never been attacked. Zero chance. And again, I said to Vladimir Putin, I said, don't do it. You can't do it, Vladimir. You do it, it's going to be a bad day. You cannot do it. And I told him things that what I do, and he said, no way. And I said, way. And you know, it's the last time we ever had the conversation. He would never have done. I got along well with him. I hope to get along well with him again. You know, getting along well with them is a good thing, not a bad thing. I got along well with Kim Jong-un. When I met with President Obama just before entering, you know, it's a sort of a ritual. And I sat down with him and we talked. It was supposed to be for a very short period of time. It turned out to be a long period of time. I said, what's the biggest problem? He said, North Korea. I had that problem worked out very quickly. It was nasty at the beginning with Rocket Man and, you know, all the different things. But all of a sudden I got a call.
Some epic tweets, by the way. Those were
like, they were epic everything. He said that he has a red button on his desk. I said, I have a red button on my desk too, but my red button is much bigger and my red button works.
Bro, I remember being scared that I voted for Trump and he was about to start World War III with Kim Jong-un. Oops. Trump's out there tweeting and accidentally starts World War III. People thought that's what was going to happen, but no, look, it started under Biden, October 7th, which I got to do a video on that shit too. Anyway, inside jobs all around.
And then I called him Little Rocket Man. Anyway, here's the bottom line. All of a sudden, I got a call from him, and they said they want to meet. They want to meet me. And we met, as you remember, we met in Singapore. We met also in Vietnam. And I got along with him great. We were in no danger. But President Obama thought we were going to end up in a nuclear war with him. And let me tell you, he's got a lot of nuclear stuff, too. He's got plenty of nuclear. He can do plenty of damage.
Yes, I mean, it's because, people like Kim Jong-un, they respond to strength, not weakness.
Well, he and I had a good relationship. Remember I met him and we walked onto his land. Nobody ever walked onto his land before. I wouldn't say, let's bring up Secret Service again. I wouldn't say they were thrilled when I did that.
Bro, I posted that picture of him walking into North Korea. That was some badass shit. That was the, fist in the air assassination picture of whatever year of Trump's first term, for real.
That I walked onto his land, and it was an amazing period. But we were not in danger with him because of me. I always say that we have enemies on the outside and we have enemies on the inside. We have some really bad people in our government and people that are controlling of the people. I mean, I'd mention names, but I really don't want to give them the credit. But we have some really bad, and I say they're more dangerous than Russia and China. If you have a smart president, a president that gets it, we are not in danger from those countries because they need us and they need our help. I mean, we force Obama, if you think about it, Obama and Biden, and Bush to a certain extent, in all fairness, force Russia and China together. And if you're a history student, the first thing you learn is you cannot let Russia and China align. But then they also got, if you take a look, Iran, and they have North Korea. That's, they call it the axis of evil. In the old days, you had the axis of evil. Here we have a modern day axis of evil. These are powerful countries, very heavy nuclear. which is the biggest threat. You know, the biggest threat is not global warming, where the ocean's going to rise 1/8 of an inch over the next 400 years. And you'll have more oceanfront property.
Yeah, the Twitter audio seems like it was a lot shittier than this. That's what people were saying when they heard Trump's audio, that the Twitter hack supposedly made Trump sound like he had a lisp, which it kind of did. I heard it. I knew it was an effect. I knew it wasn't Trump's lisp, a real lisp, but it made him sound like he had one. So, yeah, I don't know if that's part of the hacking conspiracy.
Right? The biggest threat is not that. The biggest threat is nuclear warming, because we have 5 countries now that have significant nuclear power, and we have to not allow anything to happen with stupid people like Biden. You know, Biden did something with Russia. There was no chance of him ever going in. And when I left, and then after I left, they started forming big armies on the border with Ukraine, right? And I looked at that, and I thought he was doing that because Putin's a good negotiator. I thought he was doing that to negotiate. But then Biden started saying such stupid things. For instance, he said that it can be a NATO country. Now, Russia, for as long as there's been NATO, has said we're never going to agree to that. And we go right up front and say that. And we did things and said things through this president with a low IQ, very low IQ. He had a low IQ 30 years ago, by the way, but now he might not even have a IQ at all. There's nothing on the board that goes this low. He said things that were so stupid that war had zero chance of happening if I were there. Zero chance. He was saying everything the opposite. And it's so sad because many more people have been killed in Ukraine than you read about. You don't read about how bloody it is and how disastrous. Hey, look, just in the 2 armies, you lost 500,000 people. Yeah. And you know, Ukraine's having a hard time. Ukraine, I don't know if you saw the article recently, and it's true. You don't hear the true story, but if you think about it, Russia's gone. You know, Russia defeated Germany with us, and they defeated Napoleon. You know, they've been around a long time. They're a big fighting force.
Yeah, I don't think people realize either that, you know, when we sort of, from what we're accustomed to over here, we have a fairly large military. And so when we think, the IQ shit was funny. When you think about sending people to fight, you're like, oh, okay. And they keep sending funding to Ukraine for them to fight, and they're drafting all those people. So every time one of these fucking Democrats is like, oh yeah, I'm sending money over so that I can help the troops that are on the ground, when really what they're sending money for is for them to pull some man out of their fucking house while their kids are screaming and crying and putting a fucking helmet on them and sending them off to the battlefield. Most likely to operate a fucking drone, though. I don't know if you guys have seen the drone videos of them just killing the Russian soldiers. Those are pretty fucked, man. I saw one the other day where it was a wounded soldier laying on the ground, clearly, like, you know, he wasn't dead, but he was just like defenseless, and they dropped I don't know what kind of explosive, seems larger than just a grenade, but anyway, they dropped these bombs from the drone, and you saw it land like right at his waist, kind of like almost rolled, like, you know, right to him. And then when it explodes, you just see the pieces, parts going everywhere. Fuck.
And it's very unfair. And Ukraine now doesn't have enough men. They're now using young men and very old men to fight. And we're in a very bad position. And I'm not going to blame exclusively, but I can tell you, I could have stopped that, and a smart president could have stopped that. It wouldn't have happened. But we had a man that actually made it more prevalent. It was so bad, the words that he was using, the stupid threats coming from his stupid face that he was using. I said, this guy's going to cause us a war. He's going to cause us. And let me tell you, it can lead to World War III. That can lead to World War III. The Middle East can lead to. We have numerous places that could end up in a World War III right now for no reason whatsoever.
You're right. I think people underrate the risk of World War III, and it's just, when looking at the risk of global thermonuclear warfare, it's game over.
Man, things seem pretty peaceful under Trump. You know, you have to admit that, whether it was really anything due to his decision making, or, you know, his reputation, or his vibe of not taking any shit, and that, you know, always threatening bomb the hell out of him and stuff. You know, all of the rhetoric from Trump about being, you know, using military might, he said bomb the hell out of him, and he had different comments like that. And I always joked and shared it like a meme and stuff, because I kind of felt it was just political talk. for some reason, I really didn't think we would be in like wartime where we're, sending our troops or a bunch of our fucking money to some other country for some situation we're fucking getting involved in. And somehow it didn't happen, even though Trump talked like that. I mean, it's like, that's politics, bro. You gotta sound like you mean it when you say some shit, and then be willing to, have some self-control
for humanity. And it's something that people have, I think, after the end of the Cold War, people have become complacent about, but they're actually have forgotten that there are.
Dude, yeah, Airplane Willie, yeah, Trump is the best. I put it this way: I hate politicians, but he is my favorite. He's the least hated. Okay, he's the best. He's so funny. It's like there's never been anyone like him. It's just insane the way he can go on a debate stage and probably be underprepared technically, underexperienced for the job, and make everyone else look like a complete fucking clown. It's just, that is a talent.
Are currently a lot of nuclear missiles that have targeting parameters for the United States from other countries.
100%. And one of the things we're going to do is we're going to build an Iron Dome over us. Israel has it. We're going to have the best Iron Dome in the world. We need it, and we're going to make it all in the United States. But we're going to have protection, because it just takes one maniac to start something. We're going to have protection, and we're going to have. Why shouldn't we have an Iron Dome? Israel has one. Some other places have one that nobody even knows about, frankly. But Israel has it. We're going to have an Iron Dome. But with all of that being said, to me, that's so important. The most important.
Charismatic, yeah. I don't even remember what I was trying to say. Maybe that was a word I was looking for. It's strange. For some reason, when I go to talk, my vocabulary just goes down. I think my IQ drops a little bit. It's weird. I think it happens to a lot of people when you have to talk to other people or in front of more than a couple people. Your IQ just goes, That's me. So I think I have autism.
But with all of that being said, the election's coming up, and the people want to hear about the economy and the fact that they can't buy groceries because they don't have enough money to buy groceries. The inflation has killed them. Food prices are up 50, 60, even 100% in some cases. And this stupid administration allowed this to happen, and it's a shame. And that's the thing that people most care about, in my opinion. They care about the border a lot, and we discuss the border at great length. It's nice to have a forum like this where I can discuss something at length. And by the way, you think Biden could do this interview? Do you think that Kamala could do this interview? They would take a pass on you. So they don't need Elon. They don't need Elon screaming out questions. It's pretty sad when you think that somebody that does this for a living can't answer a question or is afraid to do an interview. And in her case, with a very friendly interview, she's got all friendly interviewers.
Yes,
it's pretty sad. But the big thing now is the economy.
That is fucking crazy, though. And I bet Elon Musk would be charitable to doing an interview with Kamala. I don't think he would just fucking roast her the whole time. It wouldn't be as much of a fucking suck off fest like this is, though. Let's be real here. There's no tough questions coming. I'm not gonna be able to get through this whole thing tonight. But look, I mean, come on. This is obviously just an endorsement disguised as an interview.
Elon, and as much as I view nuclear as the single most important thing, but a lot of people don't understand that. But it doesn't have to. If I understand it, that's all you need. Because if I was president, you're not going to have that kind of a problem. But the thing that is making them angry is what Kamala and Biden have allowed to happen to the economy. It's a disaster with inflation. The inflation. Yeah. It doesn't matter what you make. The inflation has eaten you alive. If you're a worker or if you're just a middle income person, you can't afford. 4 years ago, 5 years ago, people were saving a lot of money. Today, they're using all their money and borrowing money just to live. It's a horrible thing that's happening, and we'll end that quickly.
Yeah, a lot of people just don't understand where inflation comes from. Inflation comes from government overspending because the check never bounces when it's written by the government. So if the government spends far more than it brings in, that increases the money supply, and if the money supply increases faster than the rate of goods and services,
right,
that's inflation. So really, we need to have we need to reduce our government spending, and we need to re-examine. I think we need like a government efficiency commission to say like, hey, where are we spending money that's sensible? Where is it not sensible?
Right.
And when we need to live within our means, we're currently adding I think $1 trillion to the deficit roughly every 100 days.
That's right.
And the interest payments on the national debt have now exceed the defense budget. It's like on the order of $1 trillion.
It's interest.
It keeps growing.
Yeah, I largely rebuilt our military, did a great job on it, which was so important. We had jets, we had fighters that were, and bombers that were 70 years old.
Your children's children will be enslaved to China and Ukraine and probably Israel.
Did a great job in that. Then we gave 85 billion of it back to Afghanistan, if you can believe it. We gave them 85 billion. They're one of the largest sellers of military equipment in the world. They're selling what we gave them. that was one of the most embarrassing days in the history of our country. But if you think about, let's go back to the economy. We have to bring energy prices down. Energy started at the price of gasoline. Now your cars don't require too much gasoline, so you have a good, and you do make a great product. I have to say, I have to be honest with you. That doesn't mean everybody should have an electric car, but these are minor details. But your product is incredible. But the gasoline, Elon, is the cost of energy. Not only gasoline, it's the cost of heating your house and cooling your house. That has to come down. It's gone up 100%, 150, and 200%, and that has to come down. When that comes down, and we're going to drill, baby, drill. They stopped drilling, and then they went back to drilling because they went back to the Trump policy. But if they won the day after they get into office, this country will go out of business because they're going to go to an energy policy that's not sustainable. Wind and different things. You're not going to have anything. And I know you're a big fan of the AI. And I have to say that AI, and this is shocking to me, but AI requires twice the energy that the country already produces for everything. So we're going to have to build a lot of energy if our country will be competitive with China, because that's our primary competitor for this on the AI.
Is that true? The fuck is he even talking about? AI requires more energy. They're just talking about a fucking computer, a server running. We got to have more computers running for this AI stuff. That requires us to burn coal. We just got to burn that fucking coal. Keep the computers running.
You're going to need a lot of electricity. You're going to need tremendous electricity, like almost double what we produce now for the whole country, if you can believe it.
Sure. Well, just back to this, like this basic thing, which people try to make it sound complicated, but it's not. But inflation is caused by government overspending.
Right.
Would you agree that we need to take a look at government spending?
Yes.
And have perhaps like a government efficiency commission that just tries to make the spending sensible and so the country lives within its means, just like a person does.
The waste is incredible, and nobody negotiates prices. You used to have a lot of people making jets, and you end up with two companies, and they'll probably try and merge at some point. I went through it. Like Air Force, just a thing like Air Force One. One of the first documents they asked me to sign, a general officer, sir, would you please sign this document? What is it? Air Force One. That's with Boeing, which is basically two planes, two 747s. And the price was $5.7 billion for two planes. Now they're highly sophisticated. They're even nicer than your plane, okay? But much more sophisticated. I won't say what's on it, but they got a lot of stuff on it. Anyway, but it's 5.7.
It's a crazy number.
It's a crazy number. But I said, I'm not going to pay 5.7. I'm not going to do it. I said, who made the deal? Obama and his people. I said, well, then I know the deal's no good. I'm not going to do it. And over the course of about 4 weeks, by my saying I'm not going to do it, I got the price reduced by $1.6 billion for the exact same plane, other than we had a nicer paint job, if you want to know the truth. But for the exact same plane, I saved one. And I said to Boeing, man, you guys must make a lot of money if you can reduce the price by that. But now what I do hear is that they're going back.
Yeah, they reduced the price so much. Now they're having to fucking, save on screws and bolts for their planes, and they're falling apart now, all because Trump completely gypped them on the Air Force One.
To the Biden administration and wanting big cost overruns, because they see these dopey suckers in there, and they'll end up getting some of the money back. But I shaved it by $1.6 billion for the exact same plane. And you can now take that and multiply that out times thousands of other items.
Multiply it by a zillion.
Yeah, the numbers are astronomical. I agree with you.
Well, I think it would be great to just have a government efficiency commission that takes a look at these things and just ensures that the taxpayer money, the taxpayers' hard-earned money, is spent in a good way. And I'd be happy to help out in such a commission.
I'd love it. Well, you're the greatest cutter. I mean, I look at what you do. You walk in and you just say, you want to quit? Yeah. They go on strike. I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike, and you say, that's okay. You're all gone. You're all gone. So every one of you is gone, and you are.
This is the part that Trump and Elon Musk are getting sued for right here. I got to get off in a minute here, but yeah, this is the part where they're talking about breaking up unions or whatever.
You would be very good. Oh, you would love it. But if you look at Argentina,
I'll be happy to help out.
Yeah. By the way, congratulations. I just looked at the number of people that are listening to you and I chat. We'll call it a chat. But congratulations. This is very good. I mean, it's great. And you're an interesting character. The new head of a place called Argentina, and he's a big. He's great, yeah. And he's a big MAGA fan. That he ran on MAGA, and he took it to an extreme too. He ran on MAGA, and I hear he's doing really a terrific job. It's called Make Argentina Great Again. It worked out perfectly. He came in, he bought a lot of hats, he brought everything, but he's doing a big job. He really cut. And I'm hearing they're starting to do pretty well. Inflation's getting down. They had like 2,000%. They had inflation like not normal inflation. They had the real deal. But we're going to have that pretty soon. We have. I think we have the worst inflation we've had in 100 years. They say it's 48 years. I don't believe it. I think we have the worst. They don't include a lot of the items that should be included.
Yeah. Well, it's just from government overspending and not spending taxpayer money effectively, and having just like so many departments you can't even name them all. And what Milei is doing is he's cutting government spending. He's simplifying things.
My pay has steadily been increasing over the last 8 years, and I'm somehow I'm more broke, though I get steadily more broke. It's the graph goes like this. It's an X. It's like my pay goes up, yet I'm more fucking broke. It makes no sense.
Things he's putting in regulations that make sense, and Argentina overnight is experiencing a giant improvement in prosperity. Right. But it's also a lesson for the United States, which is that Argentina used to be one of the most prosperous countries in the world. In the 30s, 40s, and because of bad government policy, it ruined the country. And if you take Venezuela, for example, Venezuela should be incredibly prosperous. They have phenomenal reserves of everything, oil, everything, and it should be prosperous. But if the government's wrong, it impoverishes the people. And so I think we should not be complacent.
All right, you guys, I gotta get out of here. I don't know if I'm gonna go through the rest of this interview tomorrow. I have other stuff planned, if you can believe it. Does somebody want that other track I used to use for intro outro? I'll play that one. But anyway, yeah, thanks for hanging with me, guys. I'm gonna get to work back on this parody song. Hopefully I will have the video done by on Tim parody song. And please help me out online with a repost and stuff, a retweet and whatnot. If you see it somewhere, please share it. I'm just, I'm fucking grinding here. Help me go fucking viral. I deserve it. I'm doing the whole video and everything. So yeah, please help me out with the repost and that shit. But all right, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow. Again, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to get into. I don't know if it's worth it to go through the rest of this interview. I mean, nothing against either Elon Musk or Trump, but it's kind of, it's just a fluff piece interview. It's nothing really. I haven't seen any real significant clips to fucking, be shitting my pants about. So, yeah, fucking, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with tomorrow. I have some other stuff I've been prepping sort of on the side with. So we'll see. Again, please come back here tomorrow, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. every week night. I'm out here slutting it up, grinding. So come hang with your boy Dark Match Steve. I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. Oh wait, let's see. Yas, thank you. Fat Pig. Thank you guys. Thank you all for hanging with me, and I appreciate if you sub, hit the like, all that stuff. I really do appreciate it. I'm grinding here on my own, so help a brother out. All right, I love you guys. I'll see you later.